Hi, writers. Today I'm going to walk you through how I revise an introduction paragraph. So I'm starting with a writing sample that shares a clear idea, but it needs a little bit of polishing. To truly shine, it needs to stand out. So as I read, I will be pausing and I'll explain what's going on through my mind. And this is called a think aloud. It's a strategy that helps my thinking and it helps me to make whatever I'm thinking be out loud and visible to you. Okay. And this is a strategy that also helps to make my writing stronger. So let us take a look at the original draft. So it reads as follows. Let's see. Have you ever wondered what it would be like if we had no rules? In The Giver, Jonas lives in a community where everything is controlled. In this essay, I will talk about why the community's rules are bad. Hmm. Okay. Okay. Now, this gives me a basic idea of the topic, but it feels kind of flat. So we need to make sure that we fix this, right? So there are three things that we need to focus on, three things that we can use, strategies that we can use to make this better that we need to focus on, okay? So follow me. So in remembering an introduction paragraph, we need to remember that the introduction has three things we have to consider, okay? It needs to have a hook, which hooks the reader quite literally, okay? It needs to clearly introduce the topic, and it needs to give a preview to you, the reader, of the writer's opinion or main idea, okay? So let's think about what needs work in this paragraph. So let's focus first on the hook. Have you ever wondered what it would be like if we had no rules? Now, it's okay, but it's a little too common and it's a little too vague. So we can definitely fix that. And I'll show you how in the next steps. The next thing that we need to take a look at that needs work in this paragraph, the phrase, yes, that phrase in yellow. In this essay, I will talk about why the community's rules are bad. So now the thing that we need to fix about this phrase, it doesn't sound natural or academic. It tells the reader what's coming, but it doesn't show. And I believe it's in writing that we have to work on showing the audience rather than simply telling them. That's what makes our intro, riveting. And the third thing, the main idea. Now, if we notice, the main idea often gets lost in the wording. And that's one thing that we want to fix. We want to make sure our main idea stands out. So let's think about some steps that we need to take when we revise this paragraph. So what's a stronger way to start? So we want to ask ourselves that question. What's a stronger way to start? Okay. So here's a suggestion. Ask yourself out loud. What's a shocking or powerful? What's so shocking or powerful about the world and the giver? So if we have background knowledge on the novel, The Giver, we know that it's a dystopian society. And we know that these several things stand out. We know that in this society, there is no choice, no emotion, and no freedom. That's huge, right? So we can use that to use that bold statement we can use as our opening, as our hook. So instead of asking a question, which is sometimes overdone, we can think of a shocking or powerful concept in the novel. And again, that phrase, I will talk about, we'll just need to work on making that a clear, definitive statement. So instead of saying, I will talk about it, you want to just go on ahead and show. Okay, and that statement is going to be your thesis. So let's continue about our bright idea. Again, a reminder for you. There's no choice, no emotion, and no freedom. That's the eye-popping question that you want to think about using in our thesis or in our opening sentence or hook, okay? And we want to get rid of the concept of saying, I'll talk about, but more so instead of talking about it, we're going to show, okay? Now, we are going to, again, look at our revision. After taking all these ideas into mind, we're going to think of our revision. So let's start. Let's start with our first opening. Now, this is our new hook. In Jonas's world, there is no pain, no color, and no choices, and no freedom. Everything is controlled to keep life safe and predictable. But in the attempt to create a perfect society, the community has erased what makes life meaningful. Its strict rules don't protect people, they limit them. Now, see how much stronger that feels. It grabs your attention with a dramatic image in your mind and introduces the topic of the community's rules and clearly states my opinion. And I've taken the original ideas and knocked them up a bit. I've elevated them. Okay, so let's stop and pause and think before we close our video today. The things that we have to take into consideration as we write our introduction paragraph, we have to think to ourselves, when I revise, I want to always ask myself, is my hook strong and original? Does the paragraph clearly introduce the topic? And is my thesis easy and clear and easy for me to understand or the reader to understand? So just remember, writers, thinking out loud helps me slow down and spot what's not working. And that's best sometimes when we read out loud, we can hear it. It helps me to turn a basic paragraph, as the one we started off with, into one that really communicates my thinking. So, writers, the next time you revise an introduction, try to think aloud or talk it through with a partner. Okay? Ask yourself, would this make someone want to read more? Again, thank you for watching. And as always, happy revising.